August 12th, 2012, Sunday. At 1500 local time, Olympian, She, and Bioforce gathered around Virtuoso for their trip. They were all wearing civilian clothes, like when they first arrived. Virtuoso teleported all of them to She's underground home in Tokyo. This trip was fastest and easiest since Virtuoso had already been there. Olympian, think of your home, Virtuoso said. She met her mother and father partway down the corridor. She told them of the time schedule and how the others were excited to be heading home. They did not interrupt or distract Virtuoso. Okay, here we go, Virtuoso said. The three of them disappeared and reappeared outside the home of Olympian on the island of Crete. A mob of Olympian's family were surrounding them. John, my boy, you're home, a tall dark-haired woman said. Her voice was loud like Olympian's. She was quickly on Olympian with a bear hug. My boy, the alpha hitter. A muscular man 6.5 feet tall was in line for a second hug. He was even louder. We should get going, Bioforce said to Virtuoso. Think of your home in Berlin, Virtuoso said. Are these your teammates? A very handsome tall young man asked. Olympian spun about and looked at his brother. Achilles, good to see you. Olympian hugged his oldest brother with all his might. Achilles was the one closest to Olympian in power level, and the hug didn't hurt him. It's good to see you too. Yes, these are my teammates, Virtuoso and Bioforce. This is my brother Achilles, leader of the Athens team. Virtuoso's concentration was disrupted, as was Bioforce, who was no longer thinking of Berlin. They all turned to shake hands. Pleased to meet you. Jonas told us he had a large family. We just didn't think we'd meet you all today, Bioforce said, shaking hands. I have something special for lunch, Olympian's mother said. Both parents now went about taking all of Olympian's attention. Only immediate family. Some of the cousins haven't arrived yet, Achilles said as he shook Virtuoso's hand also. And I'm his brother Ajax. Pleased to meet both of you, Ajax said as he followed introductions behind his brother. Virtuoso shook Achilles' hand, then spoke. Achilles and Ajax were from Homer's story. Why is it that Jonas wasn't named after someone from the story? Jonas didn't tell his team? Ajax said with a big laughing smile. Ajax, don't embarrass your brother, Achilles said. It's a true story. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Tell us, Bioforce said. We were both named after the same story, then 3 girls in a row. My mother then went without children for 3 years. Mama and Papa thought maybe they had all the children they would have. Only us 5. Then she prayed for another child and Jonas was born. His name means dove, like a gift from God. Ajax was laughing so hard he could barely tell the story. So he doesn't like the dove name and wants a new name. So Grandma starts calling him her little John. Now everyone in the family calls him John. Then Mama had 2 more girls for a total of 8. And if you ask, I didn't tell you any part of that story, Achilles said. Olympian turned to see his 2 older brothers talking to his 2 female teammates. Somehow he smelled trouble. You have to quit taking up their time. They have their own families to see. Olympian cut in between his teammates and his brothers. He's right, we need to be going. It was nice to see you all. Bioforce, you need to think about Berlin, Virtuoso said. Back and forth they said goodbye while Virtuoso got a lock on where they needed to be. She prompted Bioforce to get ready for transport. Okay, we'll be going now. Virtuoso then thought to Olympian. See you later, Dove Boy. The 2 girls then disappeared. Olympian turned to look at his brothers with a scowl on his own face. Achilles was calm and blameless. Ajax had a goofy caught-in-the-cookie jar look. Olympian tackled him backward into the crowd of relatives. What are you doing? Mama cried. They're just being boys, happy to see each other, Papa said as he nodded to Achilles. Achilles nodded back. In charge of my own team, and I'm still referee for my baby brothers, he thought as he tried to break them up. Bioforce and Virtuoso were in the backyard of a home in Berlin. Virtuoso quickly told Bioforce what she had done. You didn't. Oh, that's too funny, Bioforce said. I swear I heard John's head get hot. Who's John? Bioforce's mother said as she walked into the backyard. That's the hitter for our team. He's a hoot. Mother, meet Virtuoso. She's our team's brain. After introductions, Mrs. Albrecht said, Your father had to stop into the zoo this morning. He's very excited to see you and promises to be back shortly. Good, I can't wait to tell both of you all about the academy, Bioforce said. Well, I'll leave you 2 alone. I have to get back to Alpha for a nap, Virtuoso said. A nap? Mrs. Albrecht asked. We all come from different time zones, so if I'm the transporter of the group, I'm going to be up late tonight. Oh, I see. You're doing this every few hours? No, we boiled it down to 2 groups. One now and one in 6 hours. That's also when I fetched the first group, so I'll see you in 6 hours. Thank you so much for bringing my daughter home for a visit. We truly appreciate it. You're very welcome, Virtuoso said and teleported back to her room at Alpha. Time for some rest, she said as she lay in the room of her creation. After 5 hours, she teleported herself home for just 1 hour. She then took a break to teleport everyone somewhere else. Virtuoso teleported Midas to Michigan. Then she returned to First Team Dorm. Darkspeed was dropped off in Utah. In these trips, she appeared in the backyard and left before anyone could see her. To pick up the others, she teleported in, said nothing, waved goodbye, smiled, and teleported out. This was now part of the 7 hours she received, and she wanted the most spent at home as possible. Midas walked in the back door of his parents' house. His mother, father, and Alex heard him coming and rushed to greet him. Tears were shed as the family was reunited. After the emotion of the arrival, Midas couldn't wait to show his parents his powers and what he had learned. His father was most amazed by the descriptions of what he had done. Alex just wanted to see the giant walking spider and wrestle with his big brother. After church, you two can wrestle. For now, I want both of you to stay clean, Mrs. Pringle said with the authority of a mother getting her family ready on a Sunday morning.